What's up, everybody, and welcome to Community Casting Night here on the Senior Doom channel, home of the Tournament of Doom, home to me, I guess, Senior Doom. Let's go ahead and just start off with what Community Casting Night is. I run the Tournament of Doom, right? We Twitch and YouTube cast, now simulcast, on every week, almost nonstop, all the time, almost guaranteed. And we get a lot of questions like, hey, can I cast this Tournament of Doom? Why are you kind of selective with it? Why are you adjusting your camera in the middle of you talking? Stuff like that. And one of the things is you need experience. Not everybody has experience. Not everybody has done it before. And it's really hard to get experience. It used to be one of the ways you got experience casting Pokemon was you knew someone at a regional, or you found some way of getting on and you got on their homespun broadcast. Because if you know, regionals used to not be streamed by Pokemon themselves. It used to be streamed by the organizers, and they would be on various channels and other things. And so you'd have to know somebody or be a little bit more experienced with like streaming and stuff, which is, again, it kind of led to like a self-feeding circle. And now that Pokemon does it themselves, there's official casters, it seems like it's a little bit more hard. How do you get Pokemon to recognize you? How do you get the opportunity to do things? And so I noticed that we have a lot of viewers for the Tournament of Doom, so I figured we could do a community cast tonight because we have a lot of those people who come in and ask about it. So that's what we're doing tonight. If you are here tonight, we'll pick people up off the Discord. For first, I'm going to actually just play some games on the ladder, get things going while we wait for some of the people who want to do it tonight. And if not, we'll just play a lot of ladder games. I need practice anyways. I'm trying to become better, and I've been taking some coaching and some suggestions from people, and I am becoming better, hopefully, and we will see how some of that goes. As I am going to move my camera because I didn't realize just how offset I've become. Hopefully everyone else is having a good night while we wait, and I will have people commentate over my games. I'll have people commentate over others, like however they want to. If you're ready to cast at any point, just join the community casting, and I will grab you from there, and we will figure out, or we'll find a table and we will do it. Otherwise, I'm gonna play some games, talk about what's going on. What's up, Lady Dawn Sparse? Having a pretty good night. Right now. Starting to set up the community casting night. See how things go, and we'll see how, as a way for people to get in. Like I said, 8:45. It's only like 8:36. It's so early, so we'll get things going. Play some Charizard. I need to put Radiant Zard back in. I took it out. I've played like 3 games with it, and I'm like, oh god, I need to keep this in. I don't like giving them Artisan here, but Artisan gets us at least double Pidgey setup. It feels like this gives me a chance the next turn to attack. But yeah, people need the opportunity to practice. I can't always bring on somebody onto the Tournament of Doom who's never casted before. We've done it, and sometimes it turns out really well, like Emmy did, and the other times it just turns out to be really poor, and you sit there and go, why did I do that kind of thing? But people need a place to practice. People need an opportunity to practice, and they don't get those opportunities, so that's what we'll do. I highly expect Roaring Moon here to go off on me, though. They almost always do. And also, we're simulcasting on YouTube now, so we have everything will be streamed, everything will be ready. I totally forgot there's a possibility that he attacks with the Greninja, which is fine. Because I am expecting to be possibly KO'd here. And this is where the Radiant Charizard are supposed to come in. So, in time. How do they select for them? From what I know, we're gonna risk it here since we have both Pidgeys. I want to see if I can get the Pokestop rare candy. Oh! Risk it for the biscuit, and look what happens. From what I know is that you need a portfolio kind of thing, like you need recorded casting opportunities where they can see what you do, how things are played. So I don't want access to Pokestop. So that's where they're choosing from. I don't like dinner of the Iono. Yeah, I don't like dinner of the Ionos, but you know what? We can get that back. Oh no, I needed that. Oh no, I needed that. Dang it. All right, we're gonna grab this. That was a mistake. It's okay. We make mistakes. We'll just turn it better. But they look for your like casting experience, what you have experience in. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like you used to be able to go on regionals, and people would be able to get casting experience with regionals and everything. And well, that's not opportunity anymore. That opportunity is not gone. It's just not something you can easily do. And with the Tournament of Doom getting more and more high profile, I've been a little bit more selective with my casters who I'm with. One of the things about casting is having an opportunity is oh wait, why is it I thought it ended turn. Oops. You can either create your own tournament series or stream over other games, or you can do like live stuff and see. Emergency jelly. Actually, I'm kind of hoping here that he'll take the KO on the Mew. Because what I wanted to do this turn wasn't the KO with that. I wanted to KO with the Charmeleon and keep ourselves within the one prize and have the opportunity, have the chance of using another one to do what I need. But we'll see. I'm still hoping he takes the KO on the Mew. I want him to take the bait. This is one of those matchups where like the Radiant Charizard can come in, and that's why I should have had it. No way that YouTube still has the wrong title. No, that's right. Super Rod. Do I need the Super Rod? I don't feel like I need the Super Rod just yet. So what we can actually do here is quick search. Go ahead. Grab ourselves the Charmeleon now. So we have that as a backup. And drop that. I hate being down 2 prizes, but now this doesn't survive. I don't play the Vitality Bandit, or maybe I do in this version. I was playing the Azul YouTube version. Now I'm not. Or was. And our Charmeleon down, Charmander down. 240. That's enough to get the KO there. Payment to Twitch. Stupid subs coming out. Like Argygus 100% makes me makes me go like, yeah, you know, I kind of want to play this. Is he totally trying for energy switches here? I think that's what he's trying to do. Is he attacking with the Moltres? Oh. Is it worth Ionoing here? Because if I KO anyways, I think we just evolved the Charmeleon here after we Super Rod. Might as well get that into the out of the deck. Go ahead and Super Rod here. Oh, I wanted to hold on to one more turn. Well, okay, you know what? I wanted to do that anyways because I need one more energy on the Charmeleon. I mean the Charmander. I do need to look at Cawthon's list and see how it is. Okay, we'll save that. That's still fine. Can I just take the 240 here? Miraidon, I don't know. I don't know what is up with Miraidon. Like, it's kind of failing right now, which is weird. Actually, I need to look up Ross lists. We'll look that up while I'm here. Because I know it's up now because we've got the entirety of the list. Open as image. Oh, he's the reason why we're seeing emergency jelly everywhere. Okay. I need to add back the Radiant Charizard. I cut it and then I listened to Zul talk about it and why he plays it. And I'm like, you know what? I understand that. And I'm actually going to also put back the Choice Belt just because it comes up more often than I think than the other one. Like right now, this is essentially the second place list, which is fine because like most of what I'm trying to do anyways is trying to be better. I'm like, oh, when does the new pass activate? Oh, it's not yet. It's like 2 days. It does. I think Emergency Jelly is one of those cards that people keep forgetting exists, and they probably are more with the ancient booster energy than anything. So that's why I think I think most people focused on that and not so much that there was other healing cards right now still in format. Does Jelly even rotate? What's up, Shaolin Ware? F mark. So I want to say, what was it again? Silver Tempest. So no, it doesn't. It doesn't. So Rory Moon with that, it's probably got actually a good chance of staying around, which is good for Rory Moon and not good for other decks. All right, Day Camp, are you ready? So Prince Vortex, are you there too? Are you? If you're ready. What's up, Prince Vortex? What's up, Day Camp? You guys should be unmuted, so go ahead. Oh, I'm not unmuted. Howdy, I was not unmuted. That's the problem. Give me a sec. No. So actually, if you two actually want to cast together while watching me play, I will kind of keep my mouth shut. Try to. I'll mute at least on this end. Because one of the biggest things is like my casting, I will admit, isn't the greatest. I'm more entertaining as a caster and less of an actual informal good one. Like I don't ever expect TPCI to hire me. If they do, they'll probably have me as something like the Terry Bradshaw role, where I'm on like a pregame going, yeah, I think Iron Hands is gonna show up today and smack some hands around or something. Which I mean, it still works, and that's like my style. But I'm going to play. I've been playing a lot of Charizard lately, so I'm playing the Azul YouTube one that took second at Charlotte. So that gives you an idea of my list. I will mute from you guys, but I won't mute from stream if something comes up. I have to keep your voices on, so I will hear what you're saying, but I will try not to act on it like you're coaching me or something. I will try. I'm good. I'm good at ignoring commentators. Like I don't listen to my project managers half the time. Can we get this in Comic Sans? I'm sorry. What? I didn't hear you. Was that another dumb idea? No. But also, this will be on YouTube. So if you guys ever need it for whatever reason, go back, see it. We will be good. If you want to go WWE, go WWE. I don't care. Just like come in and be like, in the Charizard, hits for the 210. Then we hear the 1, 2. Oh, the kick out. You know, whatever. I don't care. It's your practice. Second energy. Yeah. God. This is practice for you guys. You're in a tag team match with The Undertaker. Oh wait. Or you're in. All right, gentlemen. Here you go. I'm going to start jumping to a game. I'm going to mute you from my end. Chat, you will be hearing them and watching my face as I watch and cringe over their commentary. Sorry I said that. You weren't supposed to hear it. No. You guys have fun, practice, and if anyone else wants to jump in, always on the Discord. We can get people in, get practice, be good. Just 1 second. Are you guys hearing the Discord? Just a sec, guys. For some reason, you're not showing up on the Discord, on the call. Guys, can I hear the commentators? Okay. That's what I thought. Keep talking while I figure out what's going on with the Discord sound. No idea what's going on with the audio. I'm going to jump off real quick, guys, and I'll jump back on. All right, try saying something now. Not coming through, and it's weird. Let's see if Spotify's even coming through. Yeah. It's weird that Discord's not coming through. Chat, I'm working on it. Give me a sec. Yeah, you see me. I see you guys. I see you guys in the thing, and then everyone can see you. Wow, what a hand. This would be a good game to cast too with the start. Oh my god. Sorry, this game's a donk anyway, so. They're sitting here like talking about Iron Hands and everything else. And it's like, oh no, no, no. Let's see. Unhide all. Just say some stuff. Okay. Say some stuff. Yeah, that was a. All right, I'm going to restart Discord. Give me a second. This has happened once before, chat. And guys, if you're listening from the stream, I don't know what's happened before. Sometimes we'll restart Discord. Seems to work. We'll make sure we don't need to restart OBS itself. So hopefully that's the fix. There we go. It's still not coming through. Oh my god. Sorry.
That's true.
Yeah, because I played in the Cup in Portland. Interesting.
Is it like maybe one source that you have is like using the audio and preventing it from being used?
Okay, there it is. Okay, let me reset the scene. All right, now try.
Ooh, all right. Seems
there.
Like chat says they.
There we go.
Let's go. It's a victory.
Took a little bit. There you go. Okay, why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves, and I will go ahead and mute myself from you again.
Daycamp, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name's Chris or Daycamp. I play in a lot of online tournaments and usually the West Coast regionals. Yeah.
Awesome. How long have you been playing Pokemon, Daycamp?
I got really actually into it, not just, playing like a kid where you don't actually really know the rules. Around the pandemic, I had coworkers who would play with theme decks, and then I just kind of got more competitive off of that.
Awesome. Yeah. What theme deck did you start out with when you first started?
I think it was Tropical Shake was what it's called. It was with Alolan Exeggutor.
That's sick.
Who's the other person? Chat asks.
All right, my name is Prince Vortex. I am a professional yo-yoer who is dabbling in Pokemon for the last year or so. I mostly play in online tournaments. I will play in the Tournament of Doom on Fridays. Love Goodra, one of my favorite Pokemons. But we've been playing some Lost Box as of recently. But yeah, I'm really excited just to be here chatting with Daycamp about some Zard action, some Zard gameplay, and just have a good time. I've only been playing Pokemon for about a year, so I'm not actually too familiar on older formats or older Pokemon cards, but I try to absorb as much knowledge and information as I can.
Yeah, I'm also not too familiar with, anything before Sword and Shield. So I hear people talk about a lot of older decks, and I just, nod along, agree with, their hot takes, what cards they liked or disliked.
Yeah.
So while we get into this game, I just pulled up. So Doom's playing just the second place list from most recent regionals. So Zard bringing back, Radiant Charizard's coming back into decks, which had kind of fallen off for a little bit there.
Yeah. With Zard was like undeniably one of like the best decks in the format. Like a couple weeks ago, maybe like a couple months ago. How do you feel about Zard now with like all of like the target on its back and like Giratina showing up? Do you think it's still got the sauce?
Yeah, let's see. Oof, all right, we'll have a mulligan. But yeah, Zard is just baseline, potentially the strongest deck or one of the strongest decks. And it just, when you get more powerful as the game goes on, that's always going to make for a solid deck or one that can compete with anything.
Totally. Yo, let's go. I am all for seeing Mew on the other side. Hot take, Mew has not been one of my favorite decks. So, always a fan of decks that go into Mew well. And this Charizard going into Mew should be a pretty good matchup as long as Doom can get a solid Charizard set up here. The starting hand doesn't look too bad here, actually. You got the Rotom to draw cards, or you got the Pidgey's Call for Family to set up like multiple possible Charizards.
And I think it'll be interesting. We'll see what kind of Mew they're running. Seems like all Mews are like semi-fusion strike right now, just to get around things like Spiritomb. Right, so we'll see the Lumineon.
Mm-hmm. Go for the Arven.
The Arven, and then I'm assuming
VIP.
Yep. And the Forest Sealstone, which can either be used or be a nice way to get out of Path to the Peak if this is a more DTE Path Judge focused Mew.
I don't know about playing that. Forest Sealstone on the Rotom right away. I'm worried about Lost Vacuum. I think most lists don't play more than one Forest Sealstone. I know you might lose the Forest Sealstone to Judge or something going down the road, but like losing that search for anything can be like can hurt the setup or hurt you down the road. But
yeah,
we'll see if Doom gets punished for that or not going forward. Mew is known for being one of the most consistent decks here. This Mew player is slowly getting there. They'll probably get an attack off here and knock out the Pidgey. Which, if you're playing against Charizard, I think one of the best strategies for winning is getting rid of their search engine. The Pidgey could just be one of their best tools at setting up like checkmates later down the game, and also just like finding the needs they need right away, just so they can keep the prize trade up.
Yeah, and I think we saw that a decent amount in the Charlotte regionals, where people were often going after the G or Pidgeot, and we actually aren't going to have an attack.
I'm actually shocked
from the Mew. They're just interesting. Yeah, they must have just not. I guess they did use their Forest Sealstone already, but yeah, surprised to see them not find a double turbo to kind of get things off the ground.
So Doom has kind of a rough hand right here. He has the Forest Sealstone to search for anything, but that doesn't guarantee that he gets any outs here. The Mew didn't attack, so they probably have a bad hand, but this Judge should refresh things. I actually don't mind Doom not attacking there either. I don't think there's any need to be aggressive right away. As long as Doom can set up 2 Charizards, he should be okay late into this game.
Yeah, and so now we'll see the Path Bump, which nice. Let's see what the Mew is going to get rid of. It will get rid of a Genesect. So I'm gonna limit their draw a little bit here.
Probably grab a rare candy here to evolve into the Pidgeot. I think this is typically
And that-
the first evolution that Charizard players go for is the Pidgeot, because that just helps them find the pieces to get the Chards going later into the game.
Yeah, and then we are gonna see a Charizard coming from Doom, because that Pidgeot again with that quick search that there was the little debate on how good it was going to be when it got announced, and I think it really has shown to be a great ability.
Oh yeah. Like as long as Path isn't around, like just being able to search for any card in your deck throughout the game is just kind of crazy. Like people like used to run like a 1/1 Arceus V Star in their decks just because getting any two cards was like broken at a time. So Pidgeot being like uncat or like once per turn just for the whole entire game was just super powerful.
Yeah. And interesting,
Wow.
we won't get a knockout on the Genesect because we start with 180. So we'll see if they can finally get a retreat now to kind of just hide this Genesect in the back.
2 fusion energies. Yeah. This Mew player's got some interesting game right now. Doom was showing their discard pile. They discarded 2 power tablets already, which is kind of brutal because I feel like every power tablet is useful for Mew. Ideally, this Mew player wants to probably get down Path or target the Pidgeot as fast as possible and take that out of the game. But by discarding 2 power tablets, like finding those power tablets to boost the damage of the Mew VMAX is going to be kind of challenging here. They're going to be in a tough predicament.
Yeah, without those power tablets, it'll be much harder to get a one-hit KO on Zard, and that really is essential to at least get one Zard taken out in one shot against, to at least give yourself a chance.
Does a Mew VMAX even knock out a Zard with 4 power tablets? I don't know if it does. Looks like the Mew player's just going to concede. Once Doom sets up 2 Charizards, like, there's not much a Mew player can do. Yeah, chat is saying it doesn't. I'm pretty sure that a Mew VMAX with... Yeah.
Think if you have Fusion Strike energies, you can with 4 tablets, but if they're DTE, you can't, I don't think.
I want to interfere just for a moment because we had a resub. Mellow Magikarp, welcome back to Doomco as a senior vice president, and you will now be in charge of making sure Agent Beltray gets a proper standing ovation at the Hall of Fame. And that was about it. And how'd you guys feel on that first one?
Oh, we're just vibing. I feel
that was good.
I love watching him go down. Makes my day. I know I'm going to sleep well tonight thinking about that game.
I will say I threw a little bit. Like I'm like, okay, let's throw a little bit here because I was like I could easily evolve that Charmeleon and be set. Like I would just attach another energy, evolve Charizard, set. Don't have to worry about Path. I'm like, let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's cut myself off at the knees. And this Mew player couldn't find anything, so it just didn't matter.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know if evolving to Charmeleon is total misplay. Like you don't need to be totally fast in that matchup. As long as you get like set up 2 Charizards, like you're just gonna win that game no matter what. So as long as you find like a little bit of the pieces you need to get one set up, and that leads to the other one getting set up, you should be okay. The Mew player definitely whiffing attacks definitely hurt them a lot.
Yeah.
And like I feel like when you're playing a matchup, you should always assume like your opponent has the outs. Like if you don't do that, you're just like kind of praying and going off like wishful thinking, which isn't always the best way to win.
All right, I'm gonna go on mute for you guys again, so I will jump into a new game.
The birds and the Zard.
All right.
What do you think
We'll
about
see.
what do you think about the mixed match deck box, card sleeves, and token coin.
I think that, I mean, coin, I think you go with, what you think is the best. I will say the like default just live coin, I think is just by far the worst coin. And the heads and tails just it's not different enough. Where Doom here has his favorite Fuecoco coin. I think I'm okay with sleeves and deck box not matching. I do like a little bit of theming going on personally. But, if you're picking your favorites, that works. Are you a matcher yourself?
I'm totally a matcher. I've been rocking the Diglett right now on live, and I've been loving it. The Diglett sleeves kind of in the box kind of go hard.
Yeah. I feel like the box doesn't get enough attention, in game, where it's kind of just for you. So I wish, you would show the deck or something, coming out of the box, something silly. I'm sure people would complain that it makes the game longer. But
that'd be actually really interesting if you just saw the deck fly out of the deck box right at the start of the game and just set up the board. I kind of like that. That'd be kind of goofy. All right, looks like we got a Charmander versus a Manaphy, the battle of a century. Doom is going second, which is honestly his preferred position, because that just allows him a safe setup to getting all of his Pokemon out in a good board state. But he's playing against another Charizard player who just started with the nuts.
Double VIP pass.
Plus
an energy for the Manaphy. Jeez.
Yeah, that's just. There's not much you can say about that. And going first, wow, what a start. So
we don't get a battle VIP pass off of the Mew.
What do you grab here?
It's
Ultra Ball gets another Pokemon.
I think a Candy or the Ultra Ball are both fine choices there. The Artisan gets us the Pidgey.
Ooh, I feel like he needs to get 2 Charmanders out at least.
Yeah.
This player already started with the boss. They have a nuts hand. This seems kind of risky. I don't like the boss play at all.
I think it's okay. Personally, I think that it might be. Let's see. Does he have?
Oh, yeah. Well, once
he doesn't have a Pal Pad.
Once the Charizard gets evolved, it puts on the energy on Rotom, so that doesn't really stall anything, right? That just wastes a boss that could win you the game later on. If there was something with two energies that could have been bossed up, I think that would be okay to boss up stall. But just a 1 retreat, I feel like that boss was kind of a waste, kind of a throw.
See the line where you're thinking too that you're getting that energy is just kind of be stuck on Manaphy for a bit. And so that is helpful if they're, that they'd have to, they'll probably be able to retreat after a KO with it. But it is currently, for at least a little bit, stuck on this Manaphy.
Yeah.
And they will get the Candy Pidgeot, which is going to be great for them going forward.
I can see what you're saying about the energy, because most Zards only run 6 to 7 energy. It's not a lot. So any energy stuck on a Pokemon that doesn't need it can be pretty brutal. But here we got the Charizard attack. Their Charizard, so the opponent's going to be taking the first knockout of the game here. It's just a 1 prizer, and that's going to boost Doom's Charizard's damage by a good amount. That could help them take a 2 prize knockout here. So this will be interesting to see how the game develops. I have not played a lot of Charizard since Charizard came out. I tried it when it first came out. I was not a fan of it. I couldn't find the right list, but I could. But trying it but seeing like how the lists have developed, I really like how it looks and how powerful it feels. I'm not sure necessarily what the prize route for a Charizard mirror would be though. How many knockouts does a Charizard need to one shot another Charizard? It does 190 plus 30 for each.
180 plus 30. So it's if 5 prizes are taken, it'll be 330.
Yeah.
I mostly know that because I played Lost Box, like Turbo Lost Box with Mew in it. When was that? In Sacramento. And I would try and pull off the genome hacking against Charizards, and it worked quite a few times to kind of just load up a Mew at the end to be able to take out a Charizard for game. And Chad is bringing up too, that's why people use the gloves, Justified Gloves, which does 30 extra to dark Pokemon, to help get that KO a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm. The gloves is a cute tech for sure. Yeah, I see that prize run like 1122 or 222. That makes a lot of sense, honestly. You definitely, I think, need to be aware of how you take prizes in this matchup. Almost like you're playing like Tina trying to stay out of Roxanne range. Like against Zard, you're trying to stay out of that one-shot range. Because once you have Charizard just one-shotting everything on the board, you're just in trouble if you can't keep up the pace and volume of attacks.
So our opponent here, IE Moon, is going to get a second Zard set up, which will be big. It'll be key here for Doom. Ooh, we're going to see potentially a TMD evolution.
Interesting. I know that's a tech that some Charizards play. I know yeah, so that's interesting. So so that gets rid of 2 rare candies that Doom has used so far. Probably leaving Doom with 2 rare candies left, right?
Yes, it looks like this list does run the full 4.
Mm-hmm. So that's actually, that could be pretty devastating.
Yeah. So we'll see the Arven. We could actually, we could see the response TM Devo, which a clever response.
I love this play right here.
And is able to get the Charmeleon on the bench. So they have the chance to kind of, if they get that Charizard next turn, to kind of respond. Their opponent should still, I believe their bench one was a Charmeleon. Yeah. So their opponent will still be able to have a Charizard next turn, but they might not have the Pidgeot.
Oh. And they're probably down 2 rare candies as well. I'm not sure if they've thrown any early. That's a really cheeky play. I like that.
Let's see.
I wondered. So they're going to Artisan probably for another Charmander. Yep, that's what we see. That Charmeleon's going to put in a lot of work here.
And they do have the Arven to get the Pidgeot set up again.
Let's see. So that's the 3rd rare candy. So they have 1 more rare candy left. All right. Which means they're really going to rely on the Charizard evolution on this active here.
See, and Doom will be able to do 240 now. after assuming it is a one prize KO.
Mm-hmm.
See a refire go back into the deck with the Super Rod. Makes sense that way that Charizard's ability is able to, help set up the next attacker.
Mm-hmm.
Doom does not have Pal Pad. If he's, at least according to the list I'm seeing online from the second place.
I wonder if there's. So what other tools does this Zard run in it? Does it have anything to like one shot the Pidgeot on the bench here?
I don't think so, because it looks like it's got the Seal Stone, Choice Belt, and De-Evolution. So Choice Belt isn't going to be helpful as he's already able to one-shot the Rotom. So we'll see what he grabs off this quick search. That'll be an Iono. Reset the hands.
Don't mind the Iono here. Like I don't like going for. I feel like you go for the Charmander on the bench here. Going for a 2-prizer seems really bad in this situation because they can respond by knocking out the Pidgeot.
Yep, and that's what we will see, a counter catcher. Yeah. Yep.
Because we were talking.
And so now it'll be a little harder for them to get another Charizard set up.
And that Charmander had 2 energy on it as well. Like I think we were talking earlier about prize mapping. Like when you play in a game, I think it's really important to have like a prize map goal of like what's the optimal like way like you should take prizes in a game to give yourself the biggest advantage. And then also be willing to be flexible as the game goes forward and change, like depending on what cards the game gives you and how the play style of your opponent is playing too affects that as well. But I think Doom made the right play
because if you get stuck in your original prize mapping, you're gonna potentially tunnel vision on and miss out on plays.
Mm-hmm. Happens to me way too much. As someone who writes like documents on how a deck should take prizes constantly. Ooh, this damage here.
All right, so we got the punch.
Mm-hmm. I think right now you go full aggro. If you could set up another Charizard here and then boss a 2-prizer, like the Rotom up, you lose 2 prizes in return, but then you can one-shot a Charizard in the front for a game after. Yeah, I think I would love to see like a boss on the Rotom here. But I don't know if there's any avenue to get that.
No, because we've played our one of counter catcher. Yeah. I think, we're going to see a switch in and punch this Zard.
All right. I feel like that's okay.
And I guess Doom only has one more because he tossed. I think he had to burn a boss and then he used the boss early. And as well as just, oh, wow.
But also,
That's
like, how many rare candies has the opponent used? Like, I'm thinking about that too. Like, the Turo, like, this forces our opponent to use their last rare candy.
And depending on if they're playing 1 or 2 Super Rod, they've already used 1 Super Rod, so they might not be able to get, say, a Charmeleon back.
Yeah.
We'll see. They should have an energy left. Just the 1.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think, like, I still think if you can go for the boss play here on the Rotom, I still think you go for that route. Our opponent, even with the Turo, they're not going to do much to this board state, and any damage after you take out the Rotom isn't going to affect how the rest of the game plays out, because you should have everything on board then to win. Unless, like, I guess, actually, no, now that I think of it, they could play, if our opponent plays Radiant Zard, you could get thrown off by that. So this damage here could actually matter. It sets up a Radiant Zard comeback play down the road.
Interestingly, they put back 2 fire and a Charmander, which I don't know if they have another Charmeleon to evolve these. We've seen all the rare candies.
Interesting. I don't mind the Iona.
So I don't know how they're getting another Charizard.
So,
Yeah, Doom has to just punch here.
and this damage is okay. Like, now that I think about it, it sets up the Radiant or the Radiant Charizard in the future, which can kind of disrupt the like 2/2/2 prize, or the 2/2 prize is going forward. Boss is still powerful. I think
Okay, so they did have. Is that a second Charmeleon, or did I just miss it getting put back into the deck?
I'll tell you,
I'm
they
not
used
too-
Tauros and put it back in their hand.
Oh, that was. Okay, so from the Turo, that's how they got that Charmeleon.
Mm,
Okay, that's a very clever. The Turo is even better now.
yeah. I didn't think Turo. I thought Turo only put the top evolution in your hand. I didn't know it put the whole chain. Because I thought it discarded all attached cards. Fire energy.
Right, so Doom is gonna get this Charmander into a fully set up Charizard. Potentially.
I don't know. Like, what does Doom do here, though? Like, I feel like going for the. Yeah, Radiant Charizard to disrupt the prize trade, but like a boss just wins this game. And they have the Pidgeot on. They have the Pidgeot. I don't think.
So
this
if
is,
they have the Gust, they've got it.
yeah, if they have energy, if they have energy evolution and like boss, like it's just game. And I'm not sure if Doom is used to. Has Doom used to?
So yeah, we'll
switch
see.
Too?
Yes, he has switched early
this
on,
player-
or to get that first injured.
Yeah. So I feel like this Charizard player had 2 turns to get that too. It looks like they have it. Yeah, as long as they have
because they should
energy in the
have
deck with
energy.
this Doom, they rotted energy back. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a tough one. The Turo really swung the matchup there.
Yeah, not a lot of people play Turo anymore. That threw the thing off. I probably could have just attacked with the damage one, and they might not have. The reason why tossing the bosses were an issue, I was hoping to Iono that turn. The Iono would have put them in a worse place. Because then they wouldn't have the cards they already have in hand. They would have 2, and then on top of trying to find everything with the Pidgeot, they would have to find the Gust. They'd have to find the Charizard, and it's much harder for them to come back from it. I thought they de-evolved a little too early, and I came back with it at the same time. I should have de-evolved the turn before when they set up the Charmeleon, because then that would have stopped them a little bit longer. It's a pain in the ass mirror, and I'm still not that good at it. I've fallen off on it, and I'm trying to figure out what to do outside of putting gloves back in.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
they resource managed really well in that game with the Charmeleon and the super rods and everything. So
I also gave him the Charizard without the Charmeleon on it. So what I should have done was give him that. Should have just kept that one that had the Charmeleon, take the KO on that, put the Charmeleon back, and then go from there.
I wonder if there's any way for you just to take out that Pidgeot any earlier.
I don't play.
Or,
I don't play Vitality Band, so I can't take it out until it's down to 2 prizes.
Yeah, but I wonder even early game if you just target that Pidgeot with like a boss and put damage on it. So then when that de-evolution play comes, if you just knock it out completely, they wouldn't have access to it. I wonder if that would be a good way to play the mirror. I don't know. Like the Pidgeot, like I feel like just getting rid of the Pidgeot can disrupt the opponent the most.
Is fine. I've been finding that the timing of the de-evolution is key, and I haven't got it down yet.
Yeah.
And the other problem was they went first, and they had the nuts going first. Like,
we said that. Like I was like, they opened with everything they would have wanted during turn 2.
Watching any of my streams, or if you watch me like help me play with the game, my opponents when I play the Charizard mirror have the nuts every time, and it's just ridiculous. Even when I was in Portland, my opponent got natural double VIP pass 2 games in a row. Natural. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do?
No, like
who needs Arvin when you are Arvin to start the game?
Exactly. Sec here. We do have another person who wants to come in, Paparazzi. I've never had him on before. That's why we have community night. Which one you find gentlemen want to try to work with them?
I probably hop off.
I can hop off.
Either or flip a coin. Also, talking about coin flip, you notice there's a new effect on the coin flip?
No.
I did see that, yeah.
Which, chat, I don't know if you saw it either, but there is.
I don't pay attention that much, do I? No, I haven't seen it yet.
Well, if one of you want to jump off and then just jump into the community cast and I can grab you again here later, we'll get Paparazzi some, and because they've never been on, they've never done it, so we'll get them on and see how they feel.
I'll hop off. I should go to bed anyways. I have to be up in 6 hours to teach. So,
all right, you're a teacher. How many people do I know who are Pokemon players who are teachers? It's like insane.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to the Pokemon teacher community. All right. Have a wonderful night. I wish you a great stream. I'll be lurking till I fall asleep. Peace.
What's up, Godolph Ninja Hogs? Also, how are you doing, Paparazzi? If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and also just say some stuff so I can adjust your volume levels as needed.
So I'm Paparazzi. I've been playing TCG for about like a year and a half or so, and been watching a lot of tournaments recently. So trying to get a little bit better at this whole casting thing because it's honestly something interesting to me. So hopefully I don't screw up tonight.
I gotta sing the doom song now.
That's why it's low. It's low key.
Shout out to Pokemon teachers.
As Prince Vortex joins back Doomco. Welcome back to Doomco. You can be our 3rd best teacher. That's why we have it. I will just play. I will be silent. Daycamp here. Okay. Daycamp, why don't you go ahead and say hi to Paparazzi?
Is it going?
We'll be working with you, so you two get it. We'll get a couple games in. I'm also recording on YouTube, so if you want to go back and look at it, I also noticed you're streaming, so that you obviously got your own recording, but it's there as well. You can see my face on it. You can watch me make thumbs up expressions or thumbs down, all that good stuff. So I'm going to jump on a ladder. I'll mute myself from here so I don't interfere with you guys, and you two can go ahead and go at it, which sounds horrible, but phrasing is dead for me for some reason.
All right, sounds good.
Paparazzi, have you been playing any decks in particular lately?
Yeah, like lately I have been doing a lot of Zard. I actually started playing some Goldengo. Knew a lot about that already. Some Chen Pao, some Lost Fox I haven't played it, but I know quite a bit about it. I've gone against a lot of people in tournaments and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know a little bit about everything. So, I mean, I do play mostly right now Charizard, and then I would say like Chen Pao is probably like my second deck I've been doing. So, yeah. And yourself?
Lately, I've been playing a lot of Moon. I played
Okay.
with the Iron Hands build. I think it's just a really fun deck to play. And then I had also been playing a decent bit of the Snorlax stall with Pidgeot. Bill's list from San Antonio. Thought it's a lot of fun as well. Even if I'm still somebody who's not the biggest fan of playing against control, I'll get annoyed, if I hit one on ladder, but I'll also just play it myself. So I always feel a little bit like a villain when I play it.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I was about to say you're one of those people. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I know there's definitely a lot of hate. Yeah, no,
yeah, I didn't think I'd ever be a control player, but here I am.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, nothing against it though. It's like for me, like I've seen a lot of hate against those decks, and I'm just like, well, if it's there in the game, it's like, why hate it? I mean, like if it's an option, it's like you can't hate something that is part of the game. It's like it's part of it. Just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like too, there are ways around it. I think just a lot of people just get stuck in certain things, and they're just more frustrated with the deck they're going against, and instead of trying to find ways to be able to go around those kind of decks. So I think it's more of in sort of a way a skill issue.
Yeah, and definitely, I think you have to. That's almost like a benefit of playing control is so many times you just have the mindset and mental, advantage right off the bat.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, exactly. Especially if you can trap your opponent in something that they can't do anything with, then honestly, for them, in a certain sense, it's kind of game over right in that moment. So, which is pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting way to play the game, especially since I've seen a lot of those decks. Like, they don't use any energy, so like being able to like see that right there is kind of it's different. Just making your opponent so frustrated that he concedes, or completely just shut them down.
Yeah. And so looking at our matchup here, we actually have, two of the decks you've got a good bit of experience with, Chien Pao and Charizard.
Yeah, exactly. And this matchup too, for me, like personally, like it's always kind of been a 50-50, because honestly it's if you can use Chien Pao to get that power up really quick and get that second get the rare candy for your Baxcalibur second turn, then and you're dealing damage way before the Charizard is here, it could go Chien Pao's way. And then also, if you, again, on the other side too, if Doom here can pull it off and get that Charizard second turn, then it's almost kind of in a sense game over for Chien Pao as well.
I do think Doom having the TM devolution could be a way for him to kind of at least survive an extra turn or two if Chien Pao gets a hot start going, because they have to find, the rare candy Baxcalibur again.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I definitely feel that is definitely a thing that Doom has the advantage on here, because using that de-evolution right there, getting rid of that Baxcalibur, can be detrimental against a Chien Pao player, and mostly because Chien Pao players depend on that rare candy Baxcalibur, and if they don't have that rare candy because they already used it up and de-evolution's used, their setup's kind of done, and it almost gives the win to a Charizard player, especially with Doom here. He has that Charmeleon there to be able to jump over that risk of being de-evolutioned as well, just using Charmeleon to go up into that Charizard. But Chien Pao doesn't have anything to do with that with his Baxcalibur, because no one really runs an Artifact there. Unless recently some people have been doing changes to their decks and have added one of those there just in case for a de-evolution. But from what I know, I'm pretty sure they just depend on that rare candy.
Yeah, and we are going to get to see, it looks like, a turn 2 Iron Hands from the Chien Pao. So this is going to be big play here. We'll see if Doom can respond with a Charizard.
Let's see what he got here, but yeah, it's definitely looking pretty crazy for Doom here, getting that turn 2 Iron Hands against him.
I shouldn't have tossed the Ultra Ball.
It would have been, more ideal if they could take out one of these Charmanders. But still, 2 prizes, gonna be really nice. If Doom can get the Charizard set up, he will be able to return KO.
Exactly. Yeah, with
Okay.
that price right, they definitely give him 60 extra attack on his next move with Charizard if he can pull that Charizard out.
Oof. So, no Forest Seal Stone.
I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, he pulled out that de-evolution there to try to be able to get some hand up there with that Bax Caliber and try to defend himself in a way. And there he goes. He has a de-evolution right there. That's his plan. That's what he's going for.
Yeah, so this is still going to be rough because Iron Hands is going to be able to knock this Charmander out for 2 prizes here.
That is true. That is true.
Don't remember. I think if we had known Seal Stone was prized,
We knew. I
maybe
threw the first turn so
Iono
bad.
could have, go for the gamble, hoping you can hit everything. Oof, and we're going to get the Charmeleon bossed up as well. So we'll see if Doom can respond here. Otherwise, this might just be a quick, go to game 2 if we were in a best of 3.
Exactly. He pulls the Iono out, limiting over there his opponent's possible next move down to 2 cards only, and now he has 6 cards of his own to work with. And he gets out a Radiant Charizard, be able to save himself there a little bit more, pulling up a Rotom V, using Instacharge ability to be able to save himself against that Iron Hands there. Let's see what his opponent's got right now, but it seems like he possibly could save himself another turn here.
Yeah, and I think that's smart. Opponent only going to start with just 3 cards, and Iron Hands has a whopping 4 retreat, so they wouldn't get to use any of that energy on the Iron Hands to potentially try and take out this Rotom.
Exactly. Here now we see uses Bibarel, and he gets that rare candy to go into back Caliber off of that Industrious Incisors. That's gonna be a huge hit against our Doom here.
Yeah, and that's just going to be game because 2 more energy out of the deck is enough. So a very rough game for Doom there. The opponent just,
The mistake I
a
made
turn
was
2 Iron Hands.
I threw an Ultra Ball away turn 1 that I shouldn't have, and that cost me game.
Yeah, for that Charizard, exactly. Yeah, that tough rough hand in the beginning there definitely. Unfortunately, getting rid of that Ultra Ball did unfortunately give him some bad end game there, but again, we did see some big red moves there from Doom trying to be able to save himself for some turns there. So it was not too bad plays overall, except for the Ultra Ball play there. But other than that, though, he did what he could with what you got, and that's what you got to do in this game. You got to make do with what you got.
Yeah, and it's hard when they, are able to draw into everything. It makes it hard to play against that.
Exactly. Let's see this next match. So got it for Doom here. Let's see what other decks we go against right now. And honestly, for me, Doom's deck for Charizard here is actually a deck that I play, like I mentioned before. And the setup that he has for his deck is what I've been using recently. And honestly, it's probably one of the most consistent Charizard decks I've seen recently. Just because I do feel that Gloves is a good move to go against mirror matches and stuff like that. But other than that, though, I really do feel that some other tools that he has in his deck right now are more favorable in matchups against other types of decks. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think Choice Belt with the Radiant Charizard really can swing the matchup, as we see a mulligan from what's going to be a Guardy player with the Buddy Catch Gallade. Not to just jump off, but that is quite the interesting heck option there.
Yeah, I haven't seen this. I've heard of this deck. Have not seen this deck in a very long time. So pretty interested to see how this matchup's going to come out right now.
Yeah, I feel like Buddy Catch, for those of you who don't know, lets you get one supporter of your choice per turn, and it was kind of an early on Guardy idea, because it is such a powerful effect, but it really kind of fell off just because I think people realize Gardevoir can just draw right through its deck and isn't really needed. Oh my gosh, and a Cleffa. Huh. I wonder if this is not a normal Gardevoir deck.
Yeah, this could definitely be a little invention of this guy's take on Gardevoir. Cleffa is definitely an interesting add-on to this deck, but that it's a pretty good card to start with too. If you get it in the active spot going second, on your first turn, to get those 7 cards into your hand to be able to get a good start your next turn. So it's not a bad add-on to this deck, but it's a very interesting one. I definitely think that's so myself. It's a very interesting card to add into this deck.
Yeah, I think going first probably not ideal to have it down, but I'm wondering if their hand just must not be great if you're setting up for a turn 2 Cleffa.
Exactly. That's probably the thought process they're going with, I'm guessing, if they do have experience with this deck. Because having Cleffa on that bench there, honestly, if you're not going to use its attack there to be able to get those extra cards in your hand, it's kind of useless, and it kind of just is a free prize for anybody who wants to take it out. But then again, though, it does upset prize trade, so it could be one of those things as well that they're trying to run here. But I do see right now that with the bench that Doom has set up right now, it's a pretty good start to this bench right here. The cards that he has, 2 Charmanders, and also Rotom V. And did we just see a part
V-Union
of
piece.
V-Union? Yeah, V-Union Mewtwo. Okay. That is something I have not seen.
Yeah. And a path. Okay, so I'm guessing this must be more focused on Mewtwo V Union rather than Gardevoir. So that really changes. The path to the peak is pretty rough for Charizard. Doom does have the vacuum here. Gets rid of the choice belt, which doesn't really matter, even though it would work on the V Union, because Mewtwo V Union is weak to dark. So that doesn't, Charizard's going to be knocking it out.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. No need there for that choice belt when you already have you have weakness on your side. So it's a plus there for Doom here.
So we do have a tough Ultra Ball option. We are just going to go ahead and get the Charizard, which I think makes sense. You don't want to mess around with, waiting for a V Union like as powerful as Mewtwo to come out. So I think you just want to get things rolling. We'll also see the Star Alchemy to get 1 card. And I really like this play of getting the boss, taking out the lone Kirlia.
Yeah, there he goes. Freaking Nazma, that's a good one. Good move there by Senor Doom here.
I think putting or attaching that reversal energy just was a little bit, presumptuous on their part. I know they probably wanted to draw, just get it out of the hand, but that's quite the resource to lose this early on.
Exactly. So they definitely should have saved for an attack that actually needed it. But there you go. That's a plus for Senor Doom here. He's definitely got the upper hand now. And it looks like his opponent is
They disconnected.
running down time or slammed his phone against the floor.
Yeah, they disconnect. I'm going to come in and say, yeah, they disconnected.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, after that too, who wouldn't, honestly? Oh my gosh. Good moves there. Yeah, definitely.
Interesting deck for sure. One that I think, might just be a little too slow, especially against something like Charizard that can, not even get knocked out by Mewtwo's, final burn or anything. So
Yeah, my guy, I totally agree on that. Like, definitely, especially discarding as well. One of the cards from that view union as well. Like, it's in this deck, like for using a view union, can you use? You can't use more than one of those pieces of the card, can you? Or is it just those
So
four?
you discard
Is it the same one?
all four. You have to all four be in the discard to then put it onto the bench.
Gotcha. Okay. See, that's one thing I was not sure about, but it's very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty niche thing. Mewtwo V Union's really the only V Union that's seen much play or success, really. And its biggest success was actually in a controlling deck, because so the V Unions have 4 attacks on them, and one of Mewtwo V Unions is to heal 200 damage. And so it would kind of just sit there and run you out of resources with various item cards and heal 200 damage, which most things when it was popular couldn't hit too much higher than. So quite the, and then it was also tested in Gardevoir early on, because it has kind of the discard synergy, but it just not worth the 4-card space.
Asian Ranger, thank you for the follow.
Exactly. That's a lot of bench space to have taken up there for, especially a Gardevoir deck too, when it's based mostly on, the Kirlia draw engine there, and not having that space for it can sometimes really affect you. And then, of course, using Mewtwo V Union for that can help a little bit, but at the same time, like you said too, 4 space on your bench can definitely do some damage to somebody. So maybe not the best thing to play, but it's a fun little meme deck that you can play and stuff like that, get some use out of. So
Yeah, and we'll see Doom jumping back up to Corviknight tier.
nice.
I actually started
Very high.
I started about a week ago at 600 low Greninja, and then Delock helped me with some stuff, and ever since then I only play about 5 or 6 games a day. I've been able to jump all the way back up to Corviknight, and part of me was like, oh man, if I could rattle off like 20 wins in a row, I could hit the Ultra League, and then they'll just reset me back to Greninja the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is a grinding time.
exactly. That was one thing I was hoping for too. I haven't gotten to Great League myself because I unfortunately don't get the chance to play that much. So that was one thing I'm hoping to do too. Like once you get locked into that certain. If I were to Pikachu, then
You get booted down like almost one whole level comparatively to where you were. So talking about it, like last time, I think I hit Alakazam, and they booted me down to Scorbunny.
gotcha.
So this time I should start out like Snubble, unless I can get the Charizard League. The closest I ever got to Ultra League is I got to 1320, and then I lost 10 in a row, and that's where
my gosh, no.
that's part of where I'm trying to learn to be better. And then I don't know if my YouTube froze or something. I'm just trying to make sure everything's working. So like we can even talk about this a little bit about just trying to climb the competitive ladder on this. It's broken. It's because once you hit Great League, you 20/20 everything. So you win, you get 20, you lose, you get 20.
Yeah.
And it doesn't compare by value of opponents. So like I'll end up playing a lot of Ultra League opponents. And if I beat them, I get the same amount as if I beat a Great League or if I beat a Snubble. So it's really hard to start climbing the ladder once you get to here. Like you need to grind a deck, and I think it's like 70 or 80% win rate, not 60. So it really is really hard to get up there. And then once you get up there, like if you get to Master Ball rank, like even if you very few people get to pair Arceus as it is, which fine, that's fine, that's what it is. But
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel like it's ever attainable in a month.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially when you need more than, because even a solid player, right, like having a 60% win rate is pretty darn good, especially on live where you can have connection potential issues and things like that. and just everything with the variance of that's just part of the game. 60% win rate is really solid, and that's just, you're just going to be sticking around in Great League.
Exactly. I also feel like to the point difference too is when you go up, like it changes because, like, of course, down here, in Great League or leagues under it, it's 2010. So it gives people like that are starting off or getting a little bit better a chance to be able to get into Ultra League. But like once you get there, like you said, Doom, like it's just 2020. So it's like if you get those bad matchups or you get connection issues, like you just get booted right out, and it's so hard to actually keep that up. So that's frustrating. I feel like they should definitely change that a little bit or something. I don't know, just be able to make it, in a sense, a little more fair. I mean, it doesn't make sense being up in a greater rank. Like, okay, those are the best of the best up here. So like you have to be technically, quote unquote, better than the rest to stay up there. But still at the same time, it's very discouraging to players that are actually trying to just, play the game and get into it and want to go up the ranks without being, ultra competitive against other players. So I feel like it definitely need to change there or something. I just don't know what the change could be.
It's a numerical
And I
change.
think 2020 could be fine. It seems like that should maybe start in Ultra Ball or Master Ball tier.
Probably Master Ball is where it's at. Like if you look at something like Rocket League, they have like, even if you start playing against heavier people, it'll be kind of like, okay, maybe we need to move you down. Are you not up here yet? Like whatever it is. And then it has a more fair ranking system than this does. Which actually, I'm going to jump into a new game if you guys want to cast another game here instead of talking about how bad the ladder is.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm totally good for another one.
Well, I mean, you can talk about how bad the ladder is while I'm playing the game, so I'm not going to stop you, but
I mean, if we get, hopefully we can get a little more even matchup here, because we've had kind of two one-sided affairs.
Exactly, yeah. Especially those games too, where the people just disconnect. It's like, for me, it's like if you're gonna play the game, at least finish the game out, or at least concede. Because it's so frustrating. So many times when I'm on stream and people do that. Like the other day, I had like 3 or 4 people do that to me. And you're just sitting there for like a good old a solid 5 minutes doing nothing and just waiting there. I mean, of course, talking with chat and stuff like that, but just waiting there for the game to end just because it just won't end because the Pokemon decides to not do so hot on their program here, their app here, and they decide to just make us wait it out until they decide that the opponent's inactive for too long.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and so there for chat, I don't know if you saw there though, the little extra animation with the coin flip that they've added.
Well, I
a
actually
little
didn't know
extra
that.
flair. Yeah. So Doom does not have a basic to start, so we'll have a mulligan. Seeing Palkia sleeves, so we could have a Palkia Goldango, maybe Chien Pao. Are you one, Paparazzi, to kind of match your sleeves to the deck you're playing?
In the beginning, I was one of those people who kind of did that, but now I've realized it's better to throw them off. And so I really do like to make just some different sleeves and stuff like that on my deck, so they think I'm doing a certain something, but then come at that with something totally different.
I like that, yeah. I think, I usually try and go for just a fun art one, not necessarily with, any particular thing to the deck. We've got a Vessel Away of Water, and then we're seeing some Dark, so it looks like we're going to be seeing Roaring Moon. Or, I guess, is going to be my guess here.
Yeah, seeing that water and dark there definitely could be a Roaring Moon, for sure. Definitely seeing that he has the water energy there for his Radiant Greninja doing some bench attacking. So be on the lookout for that.
And getting,
in this game.
and getting at least two. You want to get at least one water in the discard, so that way you can Sada's Vitality, water onto a Roaring Moon, and then move it onto a Greninja. So we will see, one attached. And now we're going to get a Squawk and Seize. Oof. Lots of supporters there. Melanie, pretty interesting. Okay, so we have a Palkia Roaring Moon. I don't think I've seen anyone playing that combo before.
Yeah, it's a very strange combo, but it's a good one too, because of course, like with the Roaring Moon deck, you do fill your bench, and a lot of decks right now are filling your bench. That 260 damage you can do with Palkia V-Star can definitely come in handy against most decks. But also too is V-Star ability to get your Radiant Greninja going is also a plus there too. So let's see how this deck works out, because I've also never seen this matchup before, or this kind of deck, this mix-up of Palkia with Roaring Moon. Because I definitely was expecting the Palkia Goldango deck that's going around right now, which is also a deck that I've been testing out myself. And it's a pretty solid one. So, I mean, seeing that deck right now would actually be, I would think, pretty common. But Palkia Roaring Moon, that's not something I've ever seen before.
Yeah. Okay, so Doom Iono's into double Battle VIP pass. So a great thing, and smartly gets the mana fee down as well. So no Rotom on the bench, which I think is pretty smart. Lots of Roaring Moon decks have at least a boss, or some have cross switchers, and that Rotom is just kind of an easy 2 prize where they don't have to use Frenzied Gouging. And so I think a smart play for Doom to not put that on the bench.
Exactly the same thing I was thinking. Just an easy 2 prizer for them is definitely not the way to go, especially with its heavy stadiums that Roaring Moon plays as well to get you up to that 220. It's almost inevitable not to not have a stadium and play against a Roaring Moon deck. So he definitely saved himself from that one, not having Rotom be on the bench. And then also too, the setup he has right now, it's not too bad. He has some things ready to go, so they can be able to get into this match here and do some damage pretty quickly, I think. So I think it's looking pretty okay right now.
Yeah, so the Roaring Moon player has 2 energy on a benched moon. We'll see if it seems like they don't have Asadas to, help keep getting them set up, but they will. See, yeah, with the Dark Patch and an energy in hand, they will be able to attack this turn and take out a Mew. And I just burn the Canceling Cologne to be able to restart for 1. Doom doesn't play Justified Gloves in his list, which would allow, even after this single prize taken, for him to be able to knock out Roaring Moon. But any damage on a Roaring Moon is good with a Charizard.
Exactly, hitting for way too much there, surprisingly taking the Pokestop. But then again, it was a good move for our opponent here, taking the Pokestop, prevent Doom here to be able to take any rare candies out, to be able to evolve into his Charizard EX. But it's not needed here, as we see right now. He gets his Choice Belt and rare candy ready to go to be able to go up against that Palkia V-Star there, which is a pretty decent thing. Or else can use the discard, so that actually would be a good idea too if he did that as well. Which he does take the discard on the Choice Belt.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a debate with that Palkia, kind of looming on the bench. But I think it's probably going to be okay. I would assume that that's more going to be a late game attacker in here. But we'll see how this goes. And so we'll see Punch on the Moon, put it down to 20. So, Frenzied Gouging would, be a prize cards for everyone situation.
Exactly, and taking away their only attacker right now in this moment, as on their bench they have Roaring Moon with only 1 energy, and then also Radiant Greninja with only 1 energy too. I'd like to see some Seda Heroes in play, because we don't get any Sedas right now, then this other guy's out. But there it goes, here's Professor Seda's Vitality in play at the moment, so getting that energy on that Roaring Moon there, and putting an extra on Roaring Moon EX on the top there. Like you said, to be able to swap that over to Radiant Greninja, probably get some plays going if he somehow gets that Manaphy out of play. But right now, Manaphy is protecting that bench there, preventing any attacks from Radiant Greninja to that bench. So let's see how this plays out in this moment right now.
They're probably, let's see, they get the dark patch, so they have a second moon set up. They'll be able to energy switch.
What's up, everyone coming in from Pokedubs?
Where it'll be interesting to see where they send this.
We are
Will
currently
be to the Palkia. It
currently on
makes
Communicast
sense
tonight,
as it
which
is
has
another good
Paparazzi and
attacker.
Daycamp right now. I'm trying to talk over them a little bit, but it's all fine.
And then we will see the frenzied gouging to knock out the Charizard, but the moon, of course, will knock itself out. So both of them will go ahead and take 2 prizes. The moon player will go down to 3, while Doom going down to 4. I'm assuming we're going to see the Radiant Greninja get sent up. Yeah, that way, can't get the easy 2 prize.
But there you go, counter catcher, ruining his possibilities right now, putting a little energy on his Radiant Charizard. Ooh, amazing play here by Doom. You're gonna get that
Yeah.
easy 2 prize cards just now off this Roaring Moon, knocking out his other attacker right now. And with an Iono too, upsetting that hand of our opponent here. You can
And
see right
we
now
have
making
the
it difficult.
Zard. Yeah, Zard in hand as well, which, 2 prizes. We will be, able to knock out the Palkia, even if, it's fully set up. Also, Pokedubs TCG coming in with a raid of 19. Thank you, from Doom. As a subscriber, I feel, I'm able to, welcome the raiders on in. My name is Daycamp, and I'm casting with Paparazzi.
Yes, and also an extra
okay.
thank you here as well from Paparazzi side as well.
Yeah, so we are seeing the Greninja. Okay, I do like this. The 1 prize are able to knock out the... Oh, but we have Lumineon as well, so this should be able... If there is a boss in deck, to get everything we need.
Exactly. This could
But
look
let's
like
see if it
game
can
right
get
here.
pieced together.
We can. And it looks like he could possibly do it right now. It looks very possible. Looking through his deck, though, seeing possible options here.
No energy in deck right now. But, let's see. We can Arven, Rare Candy, and Forest Sealstone.
The option right now. It looks like what we could possibly doing is, yes, going into his Pidgeot EX, using that quick search ability to be able to take out any card he needs. He's probably going for that Super Rod there to get his energy back into the deck to take advantage of that Charizard EX ability, and that's exactly what he's going for. Great play of moves right here by Doom. Pulling up the Charizard EX to get those energy onto his Charizard EX. I'm trying to throw one on Pidgeot.
And one onto the Pidgeot. We're going to Ultra Ball. Grab a Jirachi just to kind of, I think, thin it out of the deck. And then we'll take the KO. Let's see. Palkia is doing, the 60 base and then 20 more. So
yeah. We get to conceive.
so they just won't have enough. Yeah, won't have enough to, KO the Lumineon even with a boss's orders. So a tight one there. But, that's, one of the matchups that Roaring Moon just can run out of a little bit of gas. And I'm assuming that's what the Palkia is kind of there to help with, is that late game, thing to punch. But unfortunately, they didn't have any more Pokemon for, to power up that attack.
Exactly. With no more Pokemon on that bench, there definitely means an automatic loss basically for our opponent here, because we already see that Doom had the win right in that moment. So GG's to Doom on that. In
That top deck counter catcher was such BS.
It really was, but it was good for you though, for sure.
Yeah. Boom. Oh, there we go. But no,
Good.
like playing 6 energy and then using up so much early. Like I didn't want to use. I could have won that turn if I had like top decked the rod or had a Pidgeot already set up. Because then I could just rod, grab the rod with the Pidgeot, put it in, evolve, drop the Lumineon, say, "Hey, come on up, buddy." Game over.
Yeah, I really liked not putting Rotom in play because that is just an easier thing to pick off for the moons, especially early, and seeing like the list with cross switchers. I think they're pretty good at getting cross switchers into hand, so that especially early 2 prize thing for them is nice to avoid when you can for Charizard.
Which also, I need to just talk to the Raiders. So again, thank you for taking that. I kind of was talking behind you, but it's always hard. Everyone coming in from PokéDubs CCG, what's up? I'm Senior Doom, professional illustrator, tournament organizer, and pretty okay caster. Tonight is community casting night. Right now we have Day Camp and Paparazzi casting with us. If you actually want to cast, they've been casting. We'll probably have even cast one more game. If someone else wants to jump in, there's all openings. You just have to join my Discord, have a mic, all that good stuff. Not be a dick, that kind of thing, because people will do that. And yeah, also talking about professional illustrator real quick. Day Camp Paparazzi, you might like to see this as well. You guys know the Pokemon illustration contest is coming. The submission deadline's coming up like next week.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the things is you're not like supposed to share this on social media, but no one says you can't share it on stream, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think it seems like they don't want people publishing rather than sharing,
So I don't know how well this is. This will be on YouTube and all that other stuff, but as long as we I have issues illustrating sometimes. It's a personal thing with some trauma and issues with the previous job, and I'll go through fits and bursts, and I actually did one. This time I did Bidoof, and I will show chat so you guys see what a professional illustrator does. And actually, I'm pretty proud of this one, and I'm hoping it does well. I'll actually blow this up a little bit so people can see it better.
Oh, nice. That's phenomenal, dude. Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
It's coming in with the Bidoof. Yeah. I'm hoping it does well, obviously. So I just want to share with people. Full belly with what someone asked me. I did shows. I think it was my brother. Like, why isn't there a whole bunch of leftovers around them? And I said, well, orange berries, the ones he eats, they eat whole mostly. So I was like, they're going to be full beside him. He's going to have full belly with big ass berries beside him. Leave it at that.
Nice.
Plus, also, I didn't want to draw leftovers. Pain in the ass. Like the leftovers we see in game are like apples, and versus the ones like you would see IRL if you drew them like they were numbed on. So that's why I went with that. But I hopefully come June, I'll be like, yeah, top 500. We're moving on.
Yeah, honestly, I would not see how they wouldn't pick that for top 500 at least. I mean, because honestly, I could actually see that artwork on a card, like for real. Like that seemed like it came out of a card, like literally. Like that's how good for me I think it is. So that's awesome job, my guy. That's I mean, I can't draw like that, so it's amazing.
That's part of my job. So, but you guys want to cast another game?
I'm totally down. Like, I'm actually loving it. I'm hopefully I'm easy to follow with daycare. I feel like I start like when I start going, I start talking too much. So I mean, don't want to like take the whole spot. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to go balance here.
Well, that's the thing. Is like,
I think we've had a pretty good balance so far.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
That's one of the things you find is like usually you have a play-by-play person. They go through and they'll do more of the talking, and then you have the color commentary person who does like more like, oh yeah, I remember in this cup I played against this deck, and they talk about it. Like I use NFL a lot because NFL has like the most variety of casters, sports casters. So like, who's the Tony Romo versus the Al Michaels? I mean, they don't even cast together, but I mean, it's Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels. But Al Michaels does a lot of play-by-play. He kind of knows what's going on, but then like Tony Romo will come in and he goes, "Oh yeah, you're going to watch this happen, and this is what they're going for," kind of thing. And it's like it's like figuring out what you do and how you do it. Like I was saying earlier tonight, I'm more of a Terry Bradshaw, who's a guy who's more trying to be more entertaining and comes in and talks in between games and does a lot of analysis to that. And while also being like, "Hey, I went and took my truck out to the mud this weekend. It was fun." And he spends like 20 minutes talking about his truck for no reason.
I mean, I definitely could be one of those type of people. Like, definitely just go off on tangents and try to be interesting in that way. I definitely try to get more of my knowledge up for TCG, but definitely feel like day camps definitely got to step up on me on that. So play-by-play, definitely day camps. I can definitely tell from this last couple games, he's definitely on top of that. So
yeah,
I mean,
so
yeah.
and it's finding people you work well with. Like me and Emmy work really well together, and everyone always goes like, "You sound like you're like really good friends." The thing is, we aren't really good friends. But when we first started, we're just two people who once traded stickers at a regional. That was as far as I knew Emmy. Like the first time I brought her on.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, very interesting. Yeah, because I saw you guys' game the other night. You guys casting together, and again, you guys do seem like really good friends. So I mean, it makes sense, and you flow together. So that's. Yeah, it's definitely a thing someone needs, you know?
I've been stuck in a car with her for like 4 hours at the border. Okay, not 4 hours at the border, but 4 hours going across the border to go into Vancouver. And we spent the whole time talking, and we do a lot. And Emmy is going to try to some nights come on if she can. There's no obligation from her. I always say that about everyone with the Tournament of Doom or anything like this. There's no obligation to do anything. You do it if you want to do it, cool. If you have to bail for whatever reason, I'm not going to sit here and hold it against you. I'm not going to put you to the side and be like your job performance is lacking this week. You know, none of that. None of that. It's my tournament, my stream. I take care of everything, and if I'm not paying you a big amount of money, you don't have to show up. You can also tell me if I'm being a dick. So. All right, let me go ahead and jump into another game. I don't know why ladder's taking forever tonight, but I will shut myself up to you guys, and you guys can do your thing.
All right, sounds good.
So yeah, that was a great game. Nice little back and forth, that last one. So hopefully we can get another, competitive game.
Yeah, honestly, seeing that great Roaring Moon Charizard matchup was actually a breath of fresh air after seeing that rage quit from that Mewtwo V Union there.
Yeah, so we have an Ultra League person Doom is playing against, so we'll see. They might be bringing a bit more of a meta deck if they've gotten that high.
Exactly, and by the way, just loving that Fuecoco coin, because Fuecoco not only is my favorite Pokemon currently, but also I have the exact same coin that I bring to tournaments as well. Kind of just thinking on the side sometimes, kind of like a quote-unquote good luck charm, I guess you can say. So I'm glad that someone else is repping Fuecoco out here with that Fuecoco coin. I like that a lot.
All right, sorry I have to interfere. Fuecoco is love. Fuecoco is best.
Yes, let's go. Someone agrees with me. Let's go. I guess sometimes I get people who tell me so much, like, not hate, but they're just like, why Fuecoco? There's so much better Pokemon. And I'm like, excuse me, Fuecoco is the best Pokemon. What are you talking about?
Yeah, definitely a Fuecoco fan myself. It's my starter of choice. So we've got Miraidon, and they are going to be setting up for that dreaded Iron Hands. Doom's hand. Oof. Yeah, just going to call for family here. It's, the Iono is an option, but when you have Candy Charizard, kind of ready to go for next turn, you don't really want to mess with it. So we'll just see a little prize checking. And yeah.
Let's see what this Miraidon got over here. Definitely, we can tell he's going for that Iron Hand setup. But still over here, got two Maries on the bench to get the Laffies going to be able to power up that Iron Hands. We can possibly see it this turn. It all depends on what he has in his hand, of course, but we can possibly see that he goes for First Professor's Research, getting those 2 energies in the discard. And there he goes with 1 Flappy there. And there he gets the double Flappy. He lands it. This could be pretty dangerous right now for Doom if he can pull off this Iron Hands, and it's looking like he's getting there.
Yeah, uses the double turbo, so maybe didn't have, another energy. But that also helps because then they're able to, start powering up Miraidon for later. So yeah, had to throw away, I saw boss's orders and another research, so had to throw away some resources. I think definitely worth it for this Miraidon player to be able to go ahead and amp you very much for 2 prizes.
Yeah, and upsetting the price a little bit right now, the lead right now for the other player. But as we know, this definitely does give an advantage to Charizard EX to get more attack on his, or more damage on this attack, being able to go against this Iron Hand and getting that knockout as well for another 2 prize cards for Doom here. We see the Iono play, getting rid of those cards for both sides. Hopefully upsetting the other player here as well, but getting that other Charmander on the bench ready to go if we do see a Charmeleon, then a Charizard, or even into Rare Candy Charizard EX. This next art, we do see another one. And look at that.
Oh my goodness. So I know Doom did have to send some rare candies to the bottom off that Iono, but if he can draw into just 1 rare candy or an Arven, things are going to be looking really nice for this board. So Miraidon's going to go ahead, bring up the Raikou. They do have Beach Court in play, so everything besides the Flaffies will have free retreat. Be able to fleet-footed. You're going to be able to tandem unit out. I think, okay, nothing. I guess they did throw away an Iron Hands earlier. Oh, wow.
Whoa, okay, interesting. All right.
So yeah, they just must have had no good response to a fully powered up Charizard.
My guess is they priced the Raichu.
That
Yeah.
could definitely be an option, yeah.
But if they were, depending on the build, I don't know if that was an electric generator build or not. They would still miss KO this turn if it's the non-electric generator build. And if it is the electric generator build, they need 5 energy to KO a Charizard, and then I would be in a really bad spot concerning the hand I had. And knowing two candies were on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah. That must have been what it was, because maybe he wasn't running analog generators if he had none in his hand, or maybe just like this, he had even a worse hand off that Iono. That could have totally screwed him up, and then top decking also another card he doesn't need. Threw into that Rage Quit. Who knows?
Yeah, like preferably I would have had double Charizard Pidgeot set up that turn. Preferably. Like if I didn't top deck that candy and I said I got Ultra Ball, I would have Ultra Balled for the Pidgeot, and also then involve the Charizard and then like go for something else, and then maybe still Iono them. But with the Pidgeot in play and the Charizard, I'd be in such a better place.
Yeah, I was waiting
think it
for
would have been nice too. Oh yeah, it would have been nice to get rid of their Beach Court as well, because you did have the vacuum. But when your option is to vacuum away those precious candies, can't lose those willy nilly.
No, it crossed my mind. I'm like, man, I can get rid of that Beach Court. It's going to make it much more difficult for their life. And I assumed it, and I waited. And like, technically, this matchup you can get away with 3 rare candies with the Radiant Charizard, because if you can power that up, you can get an easy KO on anything. Just everything they have loses to Radiant Charizard in 1 hit. So it became a little bit more like, okay, what's going to be my top deck? I would love to know what my top deck was, considering we had so many good cards in hand, anyways. But that's how it be.
I mean, based off your last couple top decks in the Moon game, that was definitely an Arven top deck coming into hand.
Oh, 100%. 100%. All right, I want to mute myself again, and we'll get our game going, since that one lasted only 3 turns.
Yeah, surprisingly short game there. Again, I'm really just guessing. It probably was a rage quit after that. I don't know. He must have had cards already set ready to go, waiting to get that amazing play on his end, and then comes in with the Iono. And that's always a horrible thing to see during games, especially if you already have like the upper hand. I remember one time I had with my Charizard deck, I had a Charizard EX with a Pidgeot with 2 rare candies, and I got Iono'd. It was the worst thing in my life. It was so bad just having to go through that. It is an upset, but of course, you know, we keep striding. We keep going as much as we can when we play. If you're gonna play, you might as well go to the end. You know, like I said, like if you're just gonna rage quit, it's like, of course, being online too, especially like being a streamer that plays this, just to save time. Sometimes conceding is better just because of your chat. Like they don't want to sit there and watch you struggle for 3 turns just because you know you don't have the win. But I feel people who just kind of like scoop because they rage quit IRL. I don't feel like I'm just like, come on now, just try at least, you know. But then again, if you know you don't have the stuff for it, then why let your opponent keep going against you when you know the game's over anyway, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely a balance of, you know, this is just more of for fun or for practice. And so sometimes, you know, you want to practice, can you get out of tough situations? And other times, sometimes, you know, it's best to just move on to the next one.
Exactly. There was one game I played, I remember, where I was completely down and had nothing. And I'm just like, okay, I got a top card this, I forget what card it was, but I got a top card this, or top deck this one card. And if I get that one card, I win. And I did. You know, because I decided not to leave the game. And it was literally 0 prize cards to 1. I would have lost next turn. But luckily got get that card I needed off that top deck. So, and like you said too, I really feel like more like it's just more for practice, you know, playing online. Of course, people want to go up that ladder. But as you can see too, once you get to certain spots, it's kind of not impossible, but just, you know, it's really difficult to grind and get up to that next spot in the ladder once you get up to Ultra. So, you know, just having this for like being able to practice for tournaments and be ready for things and knowing any possible outcome that could come from the decks you're going up against is better for me, I think, just to play it out instead of conceding, especially if you do have somewhat of a chance to be able to go on. It helps. It helps with, you know, a lot of decision making too. That's one thing you need in the Pokemon trading card game.
Yeah, I think it can definitely, you know, help you find those tough to spot lines of play. So we're seeing Arceus Giratina. I have not seen much of this deck in quite a while.
Yeah, I've actually seen it in my
like yet
player.
again prized the Forest Sealstone. I feel like that's been prized a couple of the games we've seen tonight.
Exactly, and that Forest Sealstone definitely does help in the beginning game to get cards out that you need. But also, once we get Pidgeot EX in play, it's kind of a Forest Sealstone every turn, which I really feel like, honestly, as much as I do love using that card, it is pretty broken. I mean, having a Forest Sealstone for every single turn, like it's devastating to players that they just can't get their setup right away, and you can just get out whatever card you want. It's pretty. I mean, there's sometimes it's pretty hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, like being able to go against people, knowing you can get any card.
And it's only getting stronger with Path to the Peak leaving us, you know,
Very
in
true.
2 months' time. So we see a Starbirth, of course, which classic DTE, double turbo energy, Path, and a Judge. That's the Arceus player couldn't have drawn it up too much better. Let's see if they can get up a barrel. Tails won't be. We'll see probably a Squovit or another Giratina come down here. But, I mean, Judge, Path, fully set up Arceus. Hard to complain right now for them.
Another Arceus V on the bench instead of a Squovit or a Giratina, but it's also still a pretty good option getting another Arceus set up on the bench, but also having that Giratina V as well as another attacker there. Definitely, and right now with their hand that they have, who knows what kind of hand they have, but not being able to get out that barrel though definitely does affect other player here to get out cards he needs in this moment. But he might find one soon, so he has Stupidoose there ready to go. So he's looking towards a barrel soon enough. I do think so.
Yeah, so then Doom had kind of the debate there for a second of do it get rid of the path to the peak, but then you'd have to sacrifice your Luminion or even an Iono. So sticks with it, and we do see the boss's orders come down to take out that Charmeleon. So rough right now. We'll see if Doom can draw something to help him get out of things.
Yeah, we see another Charmander here, which is going into the Lost Zone along with that path to the peak, using Iono to disrupt Hand on the other side, plus give him 6 new cards that he can work with. And unfortunately, on his side, we don't really see too much he can work with at the moment, except for adding an energy to Charmander and passing it on to his opponent. This isn't looking too good for Doom right now in this moment.
No, and so we'll have a second Arceus V-Star. Oof. A path and a boss.
Oh, Charizard's worst enemy here.
Yeah, I also wouldn't have hated them taking out the Pidgey. Because even like, Doom obviously has to bump path. But as we see Pidgeot, and we're going to get an Iono. So yeah, I think getting rid of any way for them to really draw cards would have been better. Oh,
Getting right into
path
the
bump.
Arzon.
All right.
Let's go. Here we go.
Doom gonna get back into this.
I'm ready for a good comeback right now. This looks like it can happen.
Yeah, so we'll see. I guess, let's see, we might be doing 270. Oh, so we are going to be just short on this Arceus. So we'll see if Doom can find a way to get some extra Charmanders in play next turn.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we do see Giratina V-Star in the play right now with Star Requiem ready to go if he rotates out into that right now and see if he does that retreat. He does not do retreat. He goes for an attack on that one. Very interesting. Going with attack instead of going for the straight knockout. I wanted strategies on the other side.
so-
I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to bring up the Giratina. I like what we're seeing here. I think what's going to happen is we might see a swing into this Giratina and then a TM de-evolution next turn. We'll take
that sounds
4
good.
prizes.
Take 4 prizes for the win. That definitely is an amazing strategy, an amazing setup already by Doom himself. This sounds like a good setup here. So our opponent here basically already lost.
See, so they get the Bibarel, so now they have the great combination of Squovit and Bibarel. And so that'll help them draw cards. Oh, and they're going to have 2 Bibarels. Very nice. So Doom will be going down to, hopefully going down to 4, or take 4 prizes next turn. So we'll see a Nest Dash. I wonder what they're digging for here. Potentially another boss's orders for the next turn. So we get the Lost Impact, 2 energy, go into the Lost Zone, down goes Charizard.
Yes, he does. We see right now Doom is going in with Pidgeot up for this next turn here. Using that quick search. See what he goes for
We
here.
have the Choice Belt for for Radiant Charizard.
But he does go to Super Rod because he did not have any energies left in his deck after that last Charizard.
And no need necessarily to use the, because they do have the Squovits and the Bibarels, which really kind of negates the So Doom feels okay not using it this turn.
Exactly. With 4 prize cards on the bench all ready to go. Let's see what he got right now. What he's got coming up. With Arceus V, he doesn't really have, or his opponent here doesn't have an attack that he can do to be able to do anything.
It's the boss I
except
was
get
waiting
that
for.
rain Charizard. Yeah, there it comes in, that boss.
Yeah, so they do have boss there for the last prize card, but I think, Doom played through all the outs there. That de-evolution play was really great to kind of swing the prize trade, but sadly just a little too late with the double barrel and Squovit. There's a very low chance that they weren't finding boss's orders.
They had so many boss's orders they found. I should have maybe held on to the Charizard an extra turn and then put it and left him without an opportunity to take the KO.
Makes sense, yeah. I definitely agree with that.
That was they hit every single boss they needed, and it was just a little bit of bad luck, and then I played it a little bit wrong at the end, but we were pretty close. Like going after the Giratina was correct, because then that meant they'd have to go after something, but not getting a Charizard out until turn 5 did not help.
Yeah, I think they also could have, instead of using Giratina to knock out Charizard, I think that could have been a time to take out your Pidgeot, just to really shut you down. As Doom will be going up this time against Rapid Strike, as we see the Remoraid in the active.
Oh
So
my gosh,
this
I keep
one-
seeing this.
This one's going to be tricky. So this heavy ball for nothing, and then the debate here. So we might not see a whole lot turn 1. Interesting grabs. Urshifu. Okay, so this tells me that they want to try and, be swinging for 2 prizes. Or a double knockout next turn.
Yes, Urshifu VMAX I have not actually played against yet, because it is VMAX using the deck, right? Correct?
Yes, yeah. So it's Urshifu and Inteleon VMAXs, both who can utilize that Rapid Strike energy. Again, Forest Sealstone just hiding in the prizes for Doom.
Yes. Gotta love that,
yeah, so that
Pokemon
Urshifu-
Live RNG.
Yeah. Urshifu can do for 3 energy, can do 120 to 2 Pokemon. And so, usually that's really good at picking off some of these smaller things. Inteleon VMAX has the double gunner ability where you discard a water from hand and you can put 20 damage onto 2 benched Pokemon. And so just those spreading damage really can add up to take multiple prize cards in a turn. As well as they often play Metacham V, which has Yoga Loop, which if you put 2 damage counters on a Pokemon, and then if you get a knockout, you get to take another turn. So quite the powerful attack. But this Rapid Strike player really doesn't have a lot going on, as they've been draw pass quite a few turns now. As Doom's going to go ahead and just smack one of them for 180.
Yeah, looks like Doom here possibly setting up for a de-evolution. But the thing is, though, as well, if of course, it won't be able to knock him out, just doing damage there. But the damage there could definitely help out, because if he does get another attack on that Urshifu there, he will knock it out being a VMAX as well. So, I mean, just throwing damage on there exactly. I'm just talking here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you want to have damage all over this board. so they aren't comfortable going into their VMAXs, because they are, out of one-shot range for Charizard, really until it's probably getting close to too late. There is also, leaving the Remoraid does allow them to get Octillery in play, which will let them search for a Rapid Strike card every single turn. And so they've kind of got a nice board here set up on their side, but unfortunately, it's already kind of a rough spot. So let's see if they have an Urshifu VMAX or if they're just going to swing 100 Furious Blows, so 150 damage to our Charizard.
Yeah, luckily here was not enough. Not even enough for 2 turns. It's a 3-turn knockout with Urshifu V there. So we can see Doom's got another chance to get some stuff going here. And as we can see, he does pull out a level ball to go into a Charmeleon for his bench, getting ready to go into Charizard possible next turn. And as we can see there, he's covering himself.
Yeah, and so now Doom's going to go ahead and grab that Jirachi, which is important because that prevents Yoga Loop from doing anything to the bench. So Manaphy and Jirachi definitely going to be pulling their weight this game. Now really with 2 very damaged Urshifus, it's going to be interesting for how this player is going to navigate it because they have no real way to knock out Charizard this turn.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Urshifu, but learning a lot here right now.
Yeah. The Inteleon can do either 70 or 140 damage. If you return energy from the Inteleon into your hand, you do extra damage. So it maxes out at 140. Urshifu VMAX, besides the 120, the 2 Pokemon also does 30 damage, but does 120 more if it moved to the active this turn. So really just gonna have to rely on hoping Doom isn't able to kind of get another Charizard in play or that Pidgeot fully set up. They're gonna really hope they can kind of just ping down the Manaphy and the Jirachi here.
Yeah, there's definitely one time I played against a deck I played against one of these decks that they took out the Urshifu and just did straight up Inteleon. And boy, do I tell you, that was very frustrating playing against 3 Inteleon VMAX on the bench, doing a consistent 60 plus 140 every single turn and getting things off my bench. It was very, very annoying.
Yeah, it can really get out of hand fast. Not having the Alakazam as well, that Radiant Alakazam on the bench is very helpful. Okay, so we will get another, an attack off here. But they're still quite a ways away from being able to take out, these bench Pokemon. So now Doom kind of has the question here of, do we Arven to try and set up another Charizard? We're just going to see the punch into it. Because, ideally, just taking 2 VMAXs, that's 3 prizes twice. That's your 6. Octillery is going to go ahead, get that Tower of Waters, which gives our Rapid Strike Pokemon free retreat. I assume they're going to go into... Oh, interesting. They're going to go into the Urshifu. I guess, because they can... No, they can't even take a knockout here unless they add more energy.
Exactly. He has a knock there, but doesn't do enough. Just goes straight into the 320 and switching out a Pokemon here.
Yeah.
Let's see what he goes into.
So
very interesting.
Interesting. Gives him the Octillery. I think tempting him because Yogaloop is able to work on the active still, even with Jirachi. So they're definitely thinking here, I want to try and bait them into knocking out the Octillery so they can then use Yogaloop to take a second turn. But Doom sees right through it and is actually going to be able to boss up and KO Metacham thanks to that choice belt.
Yeah, the 210 does exactly enough damage to get rid of that Metacham, preventing any possible Yoga Loops this game, which is probably the most annoying move from this Rapid Strike deck. I definitely can say, it's not a fun thing to play against. But like you said, he saw right through it, got that attack down, and was able to prevent that from happening.
All right, so we're going to go into our healthy Inteleon, really the only thing that isn't getting knocked around so far, and it's going to do a nice 140, but again, that is just going to take quite a few turns here to actually, get damage, and so really, unless they have like a Cheryl or something they can pull out, this is a bit of dire straits for our Rapid Strike player.
Exactly, and seeing that Doom there throw that damage on the Inteleon VMAX and passing over to them after that attack there. Let's see what they've got up their sleeves right now. Because it's looking like they don't got much to work with unless they throw just a VMAX onto their Urshifu there. Let's see what they do. They're pulling another card with a Rapid Strike Search with an Artillery. Getting another Artillery in the bench to be able to possibly do. With that, can you do 2 of those Rapid Strike Searches?
No, so it is just once per turn. So even if you have 2 Octilleries, you only get 1 card. I learned that the hard way when I first tried out a Rapid Strike deck a few formats ago, and I put down 2 Octillery. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then it is sadly just a once per turn.
Gotcha. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, because that's also the same thing with the quick search ability from Pidgeot, which is a thing that luckily it had not happened in a tournament yet. But for me myself, like I have thought, like as I was playing against friends, at home or whatever, playing against them, I in real life here and using the deck, I set up 2 Pidgeots, and us both not knowing, that you can only use it once because I guess we just forget how to read a card. In games at home, I've been using it twice, and then the other day I realized, oh wait a minute, you can use this ability once per turn, no matter how many Pidgeots you have in your bench. So that's another thing that I learned yesterday.
Yeah, definitely one where Pokemon does a pretty good job of paying attention or making sure that their wording is pretty consistent throughout. For things that are, more than once a turn or just once per turn. But it does require you to read carefully, which we're all guilty of not doing every once in a while. So
Exactly.
This just might be game, set, match. As we see the Octillery come up. They might just need to. We know that Doom has fire energy in hand, but I think, they might just need to hope that it's not in hand. Like Doom just highlighted there, not getting rid of the Radiant Alakazam is just not great, especially in this matchup where you want to take out the Jirachi or the Manaphy quickly. But yeah, just I think too little, too late for a Rapid Strike player.
You can see he definitely was on that nest ball there. Energy Shield getting it in there to be able to do something there for this turn, because this opponent here is just hoping that he doesn't have the other energy in hand. Like you said, he has the energy in hand to be able to get that attack on next turn. If he does, for any reason, this opponent here knock out the Charizard EX of Doom right here, he does have the opportunity to be able to get this win next turn. I find it very interesting too that this other deck here, our opponent is using de-evolution as well in their deck. It was a very interesting add-on that I did not actually ever see before in a deck. Of course, it's a card that came out recently, but seeing it in this deck and seeing how many people are using it nowadays. In the beginning, when I first saw that card, I was like, is there any moments where you're actually going to need that card? I mean, definitely could be useful against a rare candy situation, which decks that only use rare candy evolutions instead of going to, full 1-1-1 lineup. But now we're seeing a lot more play the de-evolution. That's a card I definitely added to my own deck as well, because it actually is very useful in situations where you're up against decks like this, where you can use a de-evolution and you could be able to knock out that Charizard EX on the bench and then also the one that's in play. So that would definitely have been handy if he hadn't discarded it. Unless he has another one in there, who knows?
Yeah. Alrighty, so I think we are going to see the Urshifu come up, take a knockout. With Gale Thrust, that does 30, and then an extra 120 if it came into the active this turn. And now it is on Doom to find that last fire energy. There's an Arven.
There's an Arven right there, exactly what he needs.
Yep. Just, that Doom has had some great top decks tonight.
Yes, I agree. That was such, oh my gosh, because right there with that honestly big brain move by our opponent here, like completely getting rid of his hand, getting rid of that energy. But no need for that for Doom. He's got the Pidgeot EX, that great top deck there with that Arven giving him the game. So he tried. The opponent did try, did his best, and did the right move, honestly, but you can't stand against that amazing RNG top deck from Doom here.
Yeah, my mistake was I should have just took out the fish when it was there and not try to boss around it. Like, oh yeah, I'll put damage on something else. Take out the fish, cripples their deck.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what they use to get the cards that they need, and they can get out any card. Pretty much for them, it's their Pidgeot. Being able to get out any card they need, pretty much, because a lot of that deck that they use, it's based around rapid strike cards. So, having that in there, like you said, definitely is the way to get going that deck. Once you get rid of it, they're pretty much done.
So
yeah, and they really threw away the Alakazam and the Devo are two of the best, I think, cards for this matchup. And
I was waiting for the second Devo. I'm also surprised they never put damage on the Charizard EX on the bench. The 320, one double gunner who would have been gone.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. That's one thing I didn't realize. Because I knew that you had the Jirachi and, the Manphy on deck, and on bench, and I was thinking to myself, can you use that ability still? And then they were using it because I thought, because that does damage counters, correct? That's what that ability does? Or
it's an ability rather than an attack.
So therefore... Oh, you know what though? But I do know Jirachi does protects against damage counters from basic Pokemon. So that was the reason why too, because it's a VMAX, and so he can use the damage counters because on the other bench because it is an evolution Pokemon, not basic. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what he's doing there. But very interesting, like you said too, they did not use it on the Charizard there because that would have been so much better move. And he did that from way before. That is very interesting that he did not use that. Huh.
So for me, the correct move there originally should have been I should have just took out the fish. Correct move. They research away. They never get the other fish set up, right? They never get auxiliary set up. They already tossed all that other stuff. Then I could just kept hitting. Then I could take out one V and then one V max and I win the game. So
and if they do put another fish down, if your setup's good, you can just go and take that fish out. And then they're really, no auxiliary for them the whole game.
As a rapid strike player, person played a lot of it before. Without auxiliary, that deck will trip so hard. One bad Iono, and you have no outs to anything. You can't find your energies or your V maxes or anything to keep attacking.
Yeah, and I'm also surprised too when you said too about that de-evolution, like I mentioned during the game, they might have another one in there. Seeing that in there too is they definitely would have had it if they were to pull that out at the end. It seems like they were trying to do like one of those like big plays, getting 6 prize cards in one. I think that's what they were going for. They were just trying to do that because for me, like, there's no other explanation as to why they were leaving that Charizard like the way they did. Because it's like they should have just did it from the beginning to get those 2 prize cards right away. They would have totally had it.
Which the right move for me was going after the Yoga Loop, because it could hit the Charizard anyways. Because Jirachi only does the basics, right? No,
Jirachi protects your whole bench.
Some basics.
That's how. Yeah, but if they bring it up, like if they bring Charizard to the active again, then they can still Yoga Loop it.
So, but we played well against that. So, with that, I'm about ready to call it a night, you guys, because I do have work tomorrow.
I am also ready.
Yeah, sounds good.
Are you going to continue streaming Paparazzi?
I am, yeah, I will be. I'll be probably streaming until about like 1 a.m. my time. I'm Pacific. I'll be streaming to 1, so like 2 more hours.
Oh, cool. So I will actually raid you and send everyone out your way.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Because I know, so yeah, I'll send them out that way. Everyone on my side, I will be back later, probably Friday, obviously, for Tournament of Doom. It's me and Emmy. We're doing a couple casts on our own because we miss so many casts. Otherwise, go have some fun with Paparazzi. Everyone head over there. Again, thank you for coming on, both you and Daycamp. It was great. And same thing with Prince Vortex, who's probably asleep now. Thank you for everyone coming. We'll probably do this one again in 2 weeks. I'm trying to figure out a good timing for it. It's been weird. It's like I got to juggle between work and people's availability. It's a lot of fun. So, otherwise, again, thank you, everyone. And I will hopefully see you on Friday.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much, guys. It was a lot of fun. Honestly, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. And